No, I gotta peter out of here, guys. So,
Fuck
sorry.
you, Dylan. I
I'm
wanted to go
sorry.
get a pack of smokes.
Good for you. You smoke them. But
What?
I'll be chatting. I'll be chatting with you on Monday.
All right,
Sounds
just
good. I got some stuff for me and Paige to look over at the 116 and the 83. So we're if you're not going over there, Dylan, and you wanna look at stuff, you're more than welcome to hang out for a couple minutes.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. You guys look at your stuff, so we'll check in later.
I'll touch base with you for Monday.
All right.
But if you're good for 7:30, 7:45, then be here for 7:30, 7:45.
Yeah, I'll let you know in case I doubt someone would pop up.
Just in time for the green flag. Welcome everybody to Kansas Speedway here on Verdane TV for the newly rebranded Fatheads Cup Series. Fatheads Eyewear sponsoring the Cup Series here on Wednesday nights, and looks like we've got Tanton Wortman Jr. out front and just working out some of the kinks here to bring you all the action live. Paul Strickland Jr. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. as it were up here in the booth, and alongside me up there from Canada, Mike on the Rock, Mike James. Mike, how we doing tonight?
Well, it was a busy night, double header for us, but all the way up here in the Rock, Newfoundland and Labrador, St. John's, from all the way to the east, but glad to be here. This is race number 3 for me for the Cup Series, and already seeing Tim Wortman Jr. falling into the P2, but lots of heavy hitters tonight. Will Kenny Capola have something for us tonight? He's one of the favorites there tonight, and it's been a pleasure to get back here and wild, fast jet all the way over here in Kansas from Nashville.
Absolutely, and these guys always put on a heck of a show. It's always good to see the Cup Series action, and one of the cool things about these guys is they all run NASCAR-style paint schemes. So the Hendrick teammates there, you can see the 24 and the 88 both running up front. Wade Palmer the 5th leading the race. Ed Boyles Jr. in the 88, the Dale Jr. paint scheme there with Fatheads on the quarter panel in the hood. He is running second. Those are teammates for Hendrick Motorsports. Preston Puryear, Tim Wortman Jr., and Chris Spear in the 7, rounding out the top 5 here on lap number 3, crossing the stripe, starting lap number 4. Very excited to announce with these guys a little bit of a mid-season sponsor edition at Fatheads Eyewear. They got the oversized aviator-style glasses. Good-looking stuff on there, and they did announce that you can go to fatheads.com. That's Fatheads with a Z as the graphic gets updated on your screen right there on the top right of your screen. Use that promo code SHOWTIME. They named it after me. That's my nickname. to get 40% off. Huge numbers from the Fatheads group, so be sure to check that out. And they got some stylish stuff over there, Mikey. They got some good-looking glasses. I'm going to be ordering mine up probably tomorrow morning. Once
You need to
the
take care of your buddies, and I got a fat head as well.
oh yeah, that's one of the glorious things about having a sponsor with Fatheads. They make the oversized glasses, so they look just a little bit normal on here. And just taking a quick look here, have we got you with a production feed?
No.
See if we can get Mikey hooked up with a production feed here.
Is in the lead here. Oh, there we go. That's much better.
Much better, much better. Working out all the kinks here at Verdane TV. Just got wrapped up with the Tim's Corner Motorsports Weekly Racing Series Season 2 opener down there at Nashville Fairgrounds. And those guys put on a great show, 100 laps there at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And they're going to be running every Wednesday night. Luckily, next week, they're only going to be running 75 laps. So that's going to be a little bit easier on us. We won't necessarily have to get on the Verdane TV jet. We might just have to jump on the train or maybe catch an Uber. But taking a look here, still got the 24, the 88 up front. Tim Wortman Jr., Preston Perrier, Chris Spear. Status quo up top in the top 5. Trevor Abshner, Kenny Capola, Matt Mack, and David Dothwaite and Michael Miller rounding out the top 10 so far. Looks like we're pretty much single file all the way throughout the field here. A couple of drivers electing to use that apron on the front stretch to kind of get the cars turned just a little bit. And it's not like Talladega or Daytona here, Mike. There's no yellow line. There's no double yellow line, so it's not out of bounds. It's pretty much up to the driver discretion.
Yeah, wide open, and just taking in a peek at some of these RCR cars. The 13 of Preston Poirier was looking sharp, but the 19, Trevor Absher, taking advantage of that one and kind of pairs himself with Chris Spear in the 7, and as they kind of tandem away from Preston Poirier, as he's going to need Kenny Capola to kind of join and help out with this surge.
Absolutely. You can see the 19 kind of trying to get a little bit of draft off of the Spear machine there and the number 7. And it's still single file for the most part. Again, there you see the 7, one of those drivers shooting on down to the apron there. Just pretty much using the car to using the apron to set. You see the 19 gets the wall just a little bit, just enough to get the sparks to fly. Doesn't look like it slowed him down any, though, because they're now door to door between the 19 and the 7 of Chris Spear.
Well, when you do that, you're kind of using up a bit of the tires, with different. Although all depends on the actual degree here, but definitely moving different. Oh my God, Paul! Someone punched me in the face.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
I'm still hungover from the last race.
Yeah. Been a long week here at Verdane TV. 7 nights in a row, 8, 12 nights in a row. It's hard to keep up with all the names and the drivers and all the other good stuff, but we do know that these guys always put on a fantastic show, checking in with the leaders pretty much just where we left off. We can see still the 24, Wade Palmer, the 5th up front, Ed Boyles Jr. kind of tagging along. About a half a second or so back, and about half a second back from him, the 00, Tim Wortman Jr. Looks like he's starting to close that gap just a little bit, but still plenty of distance between those two drivers.
Yeah, the Hendricks 88, Ed Boyles Jr. off the pace now, 0.6 of a second from our leader, Wade Palmer, the 5th. But those RCR guys, crafty guys. This is my 3rd race with you. We did quite a few. We did Chicago and as well, I believe, Martinsville. And these guys definitely know how to get it done. The RCR, Kenny Capola, as well as Preston Poirier and Tim Wortman Jr. I believe they are missing one of the partners in crime here tonight. But it'll be interesting to see what they have for us tonight. We see the 21 is on pit road. Sean Stamper, as the caution is drawn on lap number 13. Take us back.
Yeah, the first caution here for the Dodge City 150 here at Kansas Speedway. We're going to back up the old Verdane.shop instant replay, try and find out where that wreck may have been. And looks like not really seeing any kind of calamity or tangly situations here on the track. We see Sean Stamper's been on pit road, but he's been there for about 8 laps or so. Just kind of running through the tapes, not seeing any kind of situation to bring out the caution. So it may very well be it's a possible situation where we may have had a competition yellow, so to speak. Actually, we can see Tim Wortman Jr. back in 11th, wondering if he had anything to do with that caution. Just backing up, looking through the tapes here. It's kind of tough. These guys are pretty much spread out a full 43 car field, so a lot of these, if there's any kind of like 1 or 2 car situations, it's pretty tough to find the replay. And just not really seeing, but it does in fact look like there's quite a bit of business down on pit road, as we can see a handful of drivers towards the back of the pack, pretty much 15th on back, have come down pit road, and there you can see everybody's starting to come off pit road as well. So getting some tires, getting some fuel. A couple of drivers may have scraped the wall just a little bit, but one of these big, long mile-and-a-half racetracks here, Mikey, may very well be planning for a fuel mileage race, as we usually see some long green flag runs here with this Fatheads Cup Series. Again, here for the Dodge City 150 at Kansas Speedway. 100 laps on the board, 15 of them already in the books, and we thank you for coming out here tonight, tuning into Verdane TV. A little bit of it wasn't quite a late start, I wouldn't technically call that. We caught it just at the green flag. Again, got wrapped up with the Tim's Corner Motorsports Weekly Racing Series kicking off their Season 2, now at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and those guys put on a fantastic race, and we're here now with the Cup Series. Fatheads, the newly rebranded Fatheads Cup Series. These guys picked up the mid-season sponsor. You can shoot over to fatheads.com, use that promo code SHOWTIME, get yourself 40% off. And man, like I said, Mikey, I was looking at their website earlier, going to take a look. There's a lot of good-looking stuff on there, lots of different styles, and they actually even carry the prescription glasses frames, the Smoke brand by Tony Stewart. So pretty cool to see Racing Ties, kind of the sponsors with Racing Ties, bringing into the sim racing deal. And it's always one of those things where you want to support those that support you. And so if you want to do that and you're entertained by these Fatheads Cup guys, shoot on over to fatheads.com and use that promo code. Helps them out, helps you out, and well, it helps Fatheads out as well. So be sure to check that stuff out. Lots of good looking merchandise over there.
And you don't have to have a fat head, I don't think.
I don't think so. No, they do have multiple sizes.
Just so you know.
That's it.
For all you ladies out there. But our leaders did not head down pit road, but Wortman Jr. is going to find himself in 17th position, the 00 RCR car. Tim Wortman Jr. headed down pit road, forgave his position, but Wade Palmer, Ed Boyles, as well as Chris Spear and Trevor Absher have stayed out, and what maybe we'll see what we've seen in Chicago, some green flag pit stops, but strategy is definitely in play for quite a few of these drivers, as we have a peek at the 24, Wade Palmer, the 5th, in that beautiful DuPont colors, coming around, or the Exalta colors now. DuPont kind of looking 24.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite paint schemes I've seen out of the 24 camp in many, many, many years. Myself growing up a Jeff Gordon fan, always a fan of the Rainbow Warriors, and that's definitely a cool scheme that came out this year. But this restart's going to be interesting, Mike, because that 19 car is bad fast there. Trevor Absher in the 19 5-hour Energy Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs, and man, he's real quick. The 24 and the 88, pretty much the class of the field so far, it looks like. But it'll be good to see the 19 restarting on the inside of row number 2. Be interesting to see if he can get up, maybe rattle the cage a little bit on the 24 or the 88 of Palmer or Boyles.
Still plenty of action to go as we get set to go back green, as the pace car will be set to exit here. He's out, and it'll be Ed Boyles Jr. with a hammer on the restart as he snails it around. Kind of takes his time, but he'll fire and gets a bit of real estate on the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. as they kind of feather out. And I believe that's Trevor Absher and on the bottom of the 7 of Chris Bear as they go door to door as they continue on here on lap number 17. Green flag. Bit of 2-wide race in there, Paul.
Teammates getting it sorted out for Hendrick Motorsports up front. They are single file, but it looks like 2x2 here for the 19 and the 7. Chris Spear trying to hold off the Trevor Absher machine on the high side, and there you see him crosses around in front of him pretty much single file, sort of. Doesn't look like there's too much side-by-side racing as far as the cars go, but you can see a lot of different lines here. Some of the drivers are right on the white line. Some of the drivers are working their way up towards the top, and there you can see the three machine of Kenny Coppola. That's a cool-looking paint scheme. A little bit of a different paint scheme. The Realtree colors there. You can see kind of a cyan and seafoam green on the front, and a regular Realtree colors there on the back. So kind of a neat spin-off on the camo car for the number 3.
Coppola will have his teammate to kind of help out, as Preston Perrier will be there now, but they're kind of on two different planets right now on the line. But that Geico 13 and the 3, if they can come together here and draft, I believe they can make up some a good run now as they try to get around the 7. A Chris Spear. This is interesting to see what the gameplay is for Coppola and Purier.
There you can see that 19 car of Trevor Absher trying to move himself into the 2nd position, going up on the door on the high side there of the number 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. Looks like he is going to get that position, cross on down in front of him and set his sights on the leader, Wade Palmer the 5th. You can already see 2, 3, maybe 4 car lengths between the 19 and the 88. Just took a couple of laps to get those tires back warmed up, and looks like the 88 might be going a little bit in the backwards position there. You see the 3 dumping or shooting on down to the low side, down to the apron, trying to get around the 88. Looks like he may very well have it. Almost in turn number 1, tries to come up and complete the pass, doesn't quite have enough room, but as he comes across in at turn number 2 in the exit, coming down to the backstretch, looks like he's going to take that position, move the number 3 up to the 3rd position.
Well, Kenny Coppola is on a mission right now. He did leave his partner in crime, the 13, Preston Purier, behind, as Purier kind of got caught up with the 7, Chris Spear. Kind of shot out to the outside, trying to make it stick, but did not work. Almost tagged the wall there. But Coppola, man, on the move right now as he comes up through a couple of spots here and puts Ed Boyles Jr. and Chris Spear back. But we have caution has come out here on lap 22, Paul.
Looks like it might have something to do with the number 28 Craftsman machine. We'll take a look-see here at the Verdane.shop instant replay, and do want to let all the fans and drivers know that the Verdane.shop, we've got Verdane TV t-shirts, hooded sweatshirts, hats, we've got beanies, we got trucker caps, we got all sorts of good stuff at the Verdane.shop, the merchandise tent, as it were. And we let all your friends and family and everybody at the racetrack know that you watch us here and you watch this entertaining thing called e-racing, iRacing, whatever you may as well call it. But we can see here, we're focusing on that 20 car because he gets a little bit of a T-bone action there with the 77. 77 caught up in a little bit of a spin there. Trying to find him on the scoring here. It doesn't look like he's got the same number as he does on the scoring, but big hit for the 77 and the 20. Unfortunately, nowhere for the 20 to go as he shoots him down on the inside of, that's going to be the, you can see the Alonzo King machine of 47. He's 7 laps down on pit road. And there you can see that's Tim Ingram there in the 77. We'll back up the tapes one more time and see what it was that got him there.
Bootski.
Yeah, a little bit of a bootski. We'll do the slow motion replay here.
Whoa.
And you can see just kind of coming in, crossing the stripe, and that looks like a flat tire to me, Mikey. Just kind of shot straight up into the wall as he was coming out, and there you can see it one more time. Unfortunately, nowhere for the number 20 to go. And that is going to open up pit lane, and that is going to bring just about everybody down on pit road. And there you can see drivers already coming off of pit road. 4 wide at the exit of pit road as a race off. There you can see the 88 comes out second, it looks like. But a lot of good opportunities here to come down for tires and for fuel as we're a quarter of the way through this race already here, Mikey.
Yeah, and those that took the early pit road activity on the last caution, Tim Wortman Jr. and Wade Palmer the 4th have decided to stay out, and they'll take full advantage. Tim Wortman now taking back the lead here on lap 24 as we get things going. But a bit of a race off pit road, like you said. Ed Boyles Jr. picking up a few spots, and the 24. Wade Palmer the 5th, managing to squeeze into the 5th spot. So I believe Wade Palmer the fourth, which would probably be the son of Wade Palmer the fifth, has found himself in second place.
Yeah, little father-son action up there in the top 5. Teammates, as it were, as well. You got Wade Palmer the fourth in the 5 machine, and Wade Palmer the fifth in the 24 machine. So both drivers working for Hendrick Motorsports, and you got to bet they probably practice a lot together as well. You can see 15 has moved himself into the top 5. He's running in that 3rd position there. That's going to be Ryan King. You haven't talked about him too much tonight, this evening. And there you can see the 22 of Colin Ziemer in the 22 Pennzoil machine. And there you can see 5th and 6th belongs to the 24 and the 88 Wade Palmer the 5th and Ed Boyles Jr. Looking at the pit stop times here, it looks like everybody's right in the 14 to 14 and a half seconds. So it looks like 4 tires all the way around. I don't see that the top 4 pitted, it doesn't look like. So Tim Wortman, Wade Palmer the 4th, Ryan King, Colin Zimmer, they all pitted. The top 3 pitted 11 laps ago, 22 pitted 25 laps ago. And the first cars with fresh tires are going to be the 24 and the 88. So little bit of strategy here, and we've already seen a couple of quick cautions here in the Dodge City 150 here at Kansas for the FATHEADZ Cup Series. So different strategies, and it's going to be really interesting to see. Working lap number 25, 3/4 of the race to go, 100 laps the total distance here as the lights go out on the iRacing Mustang pace car. We're getting ready to stack them up, double, all the way through the field, and come back out for the green flag.
Double. That's a Tim Hortons Canada thing. But just so you know, up here in Newfoundland, the Wade Palmer the 4th and the 5th, we call them junior and senior up here. So I think I'll call Wade Palmer the 4th junior for tonight.
Whatever floats your boat.
Maybe he'll get mad at me.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. But pretty cool to see the father and son combo here racing in at the FATHEADZ Cup Series. Yeah, run it. I like it. We'll see what we get. But lots of...
I've seen the competition between father and son on the racetrack in the past, and it's always great to see, even John Travolta took a stab at it in that last movie that came out with, I believe, who was in that? Shania Twain was in that movie. Little father-son competition on the dirt track. Did you see that one?
I don't think I did.
Oh, damn. Come on, Shania Twain, John Travolta racing on dirt. Download it.
Gonna have to check that out for sure. See if it's on that flag. Green flag back to business here at the Dodge City 150, and there we can see already the top 2 single file. Looks like the top 10, maybe 15 drivers single file. These drivers know they've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, so no use in really battling side by side when they can try and get bumper to bumper, get hooked up, and try and work their way to the front, just like that 88 machine. Look at Ed Boyles Jr. go, already driving himself up into the 3rd position. He did it in almost turn 3 and 4. As they're coming out of turn 4, he's going to go by his Hendrick Motorsports, and he's going to come right up to the bumper of his Hendrick Motorsports teammate as they cross the stretch. That was 4 spots in 1 lap, Mike.
Dude, those tires are obviously a major factor on this restart, as Ed Boyles Jr. is a rocket right now as he comes up on Tim Wortman Jr. I think Jr., Tim Wortman probably should have went down with the rest of the field, but trying to pick up position here at the first quarter part of this series here, or the race here tonight, but definitely not working out for him, as some of these guys with fresh tires are checking out. Ed Boyles Jr. on a mission.
Loaded the spaceship with the rocket fuel and blasting off the parts unknown. Move that 88 car back up to the lead. Ed Boyles Jr. on a mission, already trying to put a car length or 2 between he and new second place driver Tim Wortman Jr. Wade Palmer the 4th, his teammate Hendrick Motorsports number 5 back there holding on to the 3rd position, and a little bit of a battle going on for the 4th spot. You got Ryan King, Kenny Coppola, and Wade Palmer the 5th trying to sort things out, and there you can see the 3 car, Kenny Coppola down low. A little bit of a throwback. The 3 battling the 24 for position.
Yeah, Coppola did go down one of the RCR cars, Wortman Jr.'s partner in crime here tonight. Did manage to go down pit road and is coming up through the field pretty quick. But look at the 24. That's Wade Palmer, the 5th, coming on strong, and Preston Purrier coming on as well. So lots of activity in our top 10 as Chris Beer tries to get on the hammer here as well, and Trevor Absher, the 19 machine, now entering the picture as well. So lots of activity coming up around the top 10 here.
Kenny Capola dropping back a few positions. Looks like he just wanted to maybe get back to the back of this pack and try and save some tires for later on, because we're already seeing, it seems like, tires playing a big factor as we saw the 88 drive up through the field to take the lead. And again, we see single file action all the way throughout the track. And there you can see some smoke coming out of the 24. That's a little bit of a connection issue there for the number 24. What that does with the smoke is it allows the other drivers to know that there is some sort of connection issue with the 24. So hopefully he can get that sorted out. But looking back into the top 10, the number 12, we haven't mentioned his name all night long so far. Caleb Levener moving his way into the top 10, currently in that 10th position. Right behind him, not too much of a challenge just yet, but you can see the DoorDash number 23, David Douthwaite. He's still running in the 11th position. Good looking car there. And you can see the other Hendrick Motorsports car, Matt Mackin in the number 9, running in the 12th position pretty comfortably. 43, Joshua Battles right behind him with Jonathan Coombs and Ken Ellert, Patrick McClendon, and a couple of other drivers back here. There's the other Hendrick Motorsports, Michael Miller, and the 48. So a little bit of a bigger pack here from 10th on back to 16th, racing for position. Doing it very cleanly, and that's one thing that we really like about these guys on Wednesday night, the Fatheads Cup Series. Good, clean racing, a lot of respect going from driver to driver and team to team. And you also see a lot of teamwork as well from these guys. You'll see the Hendrick guys work with the Hendrick guys, and same with the Richard Childress machines and Joe Gibbs. And it's really easy to keep track of these guys because they do, like we made mention in weeks past, they run the NASCAR teams, the NASCAR Cups, the NASCAR Cup Series teams, paint schemes, and all that good stuff. So you'll see a lot of gorgeous paint schemes throughout the field. And there's kind of a shot at the nationwide paint scheme there for the Dale Earnhardt Jr. machine, but it's got the series sponsor, Fatheads Eyewear, on the hood and the quarter panel. So that's one of the neat things I like about this league. You see a lot of cup paint schemes, but with some real life sponsors that are hooking up the drivers here in the sim racing world.
I'm digging it, man. This is one league I've been bouncing all over North America with you and Tim and the rest of the field, but this Cup Series is one to watch for sure. I mean, I kind of love that these guys are paired up in actual Cup teams. The RCR team is dominant all three races that I've seen. Kenny Capola and Purier and Tim Wortman Jr. But these Hendrick cars here tonight got something for us as the Wade Palmer, the 5th, now moves into position number 3 now, and kind of looking at the 0-0 of Tim Wortman Jr. But here we'll see the move here as I believe the 19 of Absher is going to go with them, but he kind of crosses over to the top, and look at that. There's the 13 of Purier. That is Wortman Jr.'s partner in crime. He's now dipping to the bottom here, and a bit of a wild ride going on between which line do they want to be in, as Coppola now jumps in there as well.
Coppola moving on up there, as does the number 12 of Caleb Levener, moving that 12 machine up to the 7th position, kind of back there, working off the back quarter panel of the number 13 of Preston Purrier. There you can see the 19. Saw him. He was quick earlier tonight, leading this pack here in 2nd position because Ed Boyles has checked out. He is 2 seconds ahead of this pack. So right now the battle for 2nd looks like it's done. The battle for 3rd is heating up, though. You can see the 13 going all the way down on the apron. 24 is going to follow him down there, try and catch a little bit of draft off him. And as they come back up on the track, heading down into turn number 1, they're still side by side for the 4th spot. 24 down low, the 00 up high, and you got the 3 and the 12 right behind those guys. Maneuver. You can see it worked for him, though, to move the 13 up to the 3rd position, and it seems like it gave him just enough of a run to kind of get away from these guys. 3 wide behind them, though, and the 00 getting a little bit of a challenge from his teammate there. The number 3, the 3 is getting pushed from the 24. Great action here for 4th place.
Yeah, lots of activity as Coppola goes all the way to the top in front of his teammate Wortman Jr. The 22 off the pace as we've seen him to the bottom there. That's Colin Zimmer. I believe he's on his way down pit road or re-entering here. But Purrier and Coppola now joining forces as they are teammates. Wortman Jr. trying to hang on in there. You got three of them now in a row, part of the RCR team. But the 24 machine, Wade Palmer Jr., trying to make it work here.
Sorting everything out right now, single file, pretty much all the way throughout the field, all the way around the racetrack. We can see the number 12 car is getting joined now by Matt Mackin on the number 9. The Chase Elliott paint scheme there, the Napa Auto Parts Chevy, the Hendrick Motorsports ride. And behind him, Jonathan Coombs, the 77. He's starting to move up to the pack here, and we can see a couple of other drivers there. You can see the Richard Petty Motorsports, Joshua Battles, and that orange Armor All number 43. This is pretty cool to see that paint scheme make it from Daytona out here into the Fatheads Cup scheme. It's always you're always looking to see that 43 in the Petty Blue, but that bright blaze orange, definitely a good look for that 43.
Yeah, I was digging it. This year was pretty wild to see Michael Jordan enter the sport, and Pitbull with Daniel Suarez. I mean, there we are. There's the 23 right there. Michael Jordan, unbelievable to see him. He is North Carolina a native, went to the university there, and his roots lie in the North Carolina area. So kind of natural, like when he said that growing up, he going to all these racetracks with his mom and dad, and now seeing him enter the picture, it's starting a trend. Because today I was actually taking note. There's an NFL player actually wanting to get in on the action. One of the guys that I actually watched in the K&N series, I believe it was Ryan. JD Motorsports, Ryan Vegas, is now getting partnered up with an NFL player from the New Orleans Saints. So maybe this is going to become a trend when you see celebrities enter in NASCAR.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's something that the sport needs right now. We're in kind of a NASCAR's in kind of a, I don't want to call it a funk, but it's not quite as fresh as it used to be. There's been a lot of rules changes and all sorts of different stuff like that. But I think bringing some new faces, maybe bringing some celebrity faces into the mix, like Michael Jordan, like you said, it's cool to see that he's not just coming in for the paycheck or for the glory or anything like that. Showed a bunch of tapes, old footage of Michael Jordan hanging out at the racetracks in the past years, and very, very cool to have MJ on board, one of the best, the best basketball player I think of all time, and it's just the goat, the greatest of all time. It took me about 30 years to figure out what that actually meant. So, speaking of goats, maybe we'll see Tom Brady and Gronkowski team up and get in on a NASCAR team. We've already seen Gronkowski win the 24/7 championship over in WWE, so maybe we'll see them cross into the world of motorsports.
Yeah, and it was funny. Right after that press release, there was a whole pile of people tweeting back and forth, basically saying, "Hey, if these guys are doing it, what's up, Ryan Vegas or Vargas? You interested in joining?" But the big squeeze at Kamara is actually involved. Alvin Kamara from the NFL All-Pro running back from the New Orleans Saints has now entered the picture of NASCAR. So I got a funny feeling, man. I called it earlier to one of my buddies that this is going to be a trend after the Daytona 500. And then all of a sudden today on my news release from Ryan Vargas that they are partnered up for the Xfinity Series.
Absolutely, and they keep coining this season the best NASCAR season ever. So lots of changes, lots of hands in the cookie jar, I guess you could say. Lots of coals in the fire. Another way to put it as well.
You want to get some Canadian fans watching? Get Gretzky to buy a car.
There you go.
Machine.
Absolutely. There you can see still out front Ed Boyle Jr. Picking this field up and putting them back down, getting around the Stewart Haas machine, the number 10 there of James Kerr. Haven't talked about him too much tonight, but he's going to go a lap down to the leader in that number 10 Mustang, and no fault to his. That 88 car, man, he is on a rail here tonight.
Well, that's going to come up on cross flags as Ed Boyles Jr. comes around for lap 50, halfway cross flags, and Ed Boyles Jr. That gap is kind of Absher's looking pretty quick here tonight. Now bringing that gap down to a full second, under a full second, 9/10 of a second on our leader right now, the 19. We're having a peek at him as he comes around some lap traffic. Preston Pure about a full 2 seconds. So plenty of room between the top here as well as Kenny Capola, another half a second behind Preston Pure. So a lot of separation between our competitors right now, and which is going to basically bring out a lot of green flag runs here, which pretty much I got a funny feeling we're going to see some green flag pit stops.
Absolutely. The field pretty much spread out all the way throughout, and it really does look like that 19 car dropped a couple of those 5-hour energies into the gas tank of that machine, because he is flat flying, moved himself all the way up into that second spot. And we're about 30, maybe 27 or so laps into this run, so it's definitely going to be about time for these drivers to start thinking about pit stops. There you can see the 13 getting around that lap machine of the number 10 car. So pretty much all throughout the field here, nice and spread out, just kind of easy driving, so to speak, but business will definitely pick up in the second half here as these drivers work their way towards the back. Just taking a quick look, the 12th car, Caleb Levener, moved himself up into 4th place. Kenny Capola in the 3, he is 5th. 77 of Jonathan Coombs, he's going to be in the 6th spot. Wade Palmer, the 5th, hasn't made too much progress. He's actually under attack there. The number 23 of David Douthwaite, saw him earlier. And Tim Wortman Jr., the 00 in 9th, and the 9 car of Matt Mackin currently rounding out the top 10. And looking like this is the closest battle on the track. The 23 trying to get around the 24, and in the background there, you can see Tim Wortman Jr. trying to close up on these drivers, but not quite having enough to get there.
Yeah, it's interesting to see some of these new sponsors entering sports. DoorDash now, big provider for the 23. So, you know, businesses are changing, especially even under this COVID-19 or 21, you want to call it. But things are changing quickly, and we're seeing new sponsors entering the sport. So, really refreshing, but a little bit of a battle there. We had a peek at the 23 of David Douthwaite and Wade Palmer the 5th, but now the 88 looks like he's going to come down pit road here. So we're seeing that green flag pit run here on lap 54. Tim Wortman Jr. is down. Ryan Kling is down in the 15. And I believe we just seen Ed Boyles Jr. head down that way.
Heading down pit road to get service, about 31, 32 laps on this run. 19 of Trevor Apshner going to stay out and lead himself a lap, get that bonus point. Working towards the championship. He's going to peel down onto the apron, come down pit road. The 13 car into the new leader as he crosses the line. He's going to stay out, lead himself a lap, and there you can see the 77 is staying out with him. Looks like everybody else is down on pit road as we take a peek. There you can see Ed Boyles Jr. coming off pit road as he's going to be all by himself. Great big old lead coming off of pit road for the 88 machine. And just taking a look at the timing and scoring, looked like 4 tires for that, 14.4 pit stops. So 4 tires for the 88. He's going to be down and away. And it looks like a few other drivers just kind of working some of the kinks, some of the sheet metal out of the dents out of the sheet metal, as it were. And leader still the 13. He's holding on to it. Preston Purrier going to lead a couple more laps and probably going to be coming down here pit road here very, very shortly. Just to try and top this car off with the Sunoco race fuel. And he's got the 77 of Jonathan Coombs right with him. And there you can see the 23 still out there as well. He's in 3rd place. Chris Spear, Jimmy Apshner. Looks like those guys are coming down pit road. 77 peeled off pit road. 13 staying out. One more lap, looks like. May very well be trying to stretch this to make it a one-stop race.
Yeah, and you know, strategy, we talked about that earlier, is going to definitely play. And now that we're seeing these green flag stops with 42 to go here, Preston Purrier, your new leader, now having almost a 4.5 second gap on the 23 machine of Dave Douthwaite. But Chris Spear now about 5.5 seconds behind our leader. So eventually we are going to see Preston head down the 13. Down pit road, as I believe he's been on those tires since lap 34, or 34 laps on those tires.
Add one more to it. He's going to stay out again. May very well just be hanging out and getting some TV time for his fans. We're taking a look at the Facebook chat. Lots of Preston Premier 13 fans out there in Facebook land. We want to thank everybody out there for watching Vidane TV on Facebook and on YouTube. A little bit squirrely as he comes down, a little bit hot, and you can see matches the brakes. Don't know how if he was speeding, but he was definitely quick coming into pit road. So we'll have to see if there's a penalty. And then looks like he's having some troubles there. His front of the car may have locked up, and now he's doing donuts on pit road. Not entirely sure what the deal is with the 13 car there, but that is a tough break.
He obviously had to hit the reset and hit the tow button, but something happened there, and something must have snapped in the 13 and caused that situation. But that's going to be a big upset for the 13 of Preston Pure, as he is going to get the dinged with the tow job. That's going to put him back a full lap right now, and he's going to have to get to work on that machine. But Chris Beer, Michael Miller is down on pit road, Tim Ingram as well. So seeing a lot of these green flag pit stops. This is going to be a shakeup here as our new leader, Derek Cook. He's got about a 3-second gap on John Tuddy, but we got 38 laps on those tires for Derek Cook and 37 laps for John Tuddy. So eventually we're going to see them, and we'll see Ed Boyles Jr., the 88, take over the lead here with almost a 5-second gap on Trevor Absher, the 19. So Ed Boyles Jr., man on a mission tonight. One to watch. That 88 Hendricks car is a wild one here tonight.
There you can see the Stewart Haas pair of 14 of Derek Cook, John Tunney in the 41 coming down pit lane, and a little bit hot, a little bit hard on the binders for the number 41. We'll have to see if there's any kind of penalty, but like you said, that's going to hand the lead back over to the Ed Boyles Jr. machine, and we saw the huge gap on pit road, a perfect, flawless pit stop, 14.4 seconds from the 88 crew, giving him the 4.8 second lead over the number 19 of Trevor Abshner. Trevor Abshner, a good pit stop as well, 14.8. Caleb Levener has moved himself up into the third spot. Good pit stop there, 14.6. Wade Palmer, the fifth, up in the fourth spot. Looks like a 13.9. The Rainbow Warriors getting it done for the number 24, and the 77 of Jonathan Coombs. He's going to round out the top 5. Tim Wortman Jr. still holding on to the back bumper of him, but then it looks like there's another 5 seconds back to that 3 machine of Kenny Capola. So lots of mixed strategies, it looks like, here on pit road, and some drivers struggling a little bit with the pit road entry under green flag. We saw a lot of tires getting locked up, a lot of smoke, a lot of cars kind of struggling to get brought down to speed, because we're running about 180, 190 miles an hour here at Kansas Speedway, and the pit road speed, I believe, is 60, maybe 65. It may even be 55, so it's really hard to get these machines woed up that quick, and it's just real tough to do green flag pit stops here on these big tracks.
Yeah, and this is going to be, I got a funny feeling we're full green here on this one, like very similar to Chicago. So this is going to get pretty interesting here with Ed Boyles with a massive gap here now, 4.5 seconds. Trevor Absher's the next one as we take a peek at the 19, the 5-hour energy drink, little Truex flashback there, but the 12, look at that, Caleb Levener. You were talking about him earlier in the Menards machine, doing a wonderful job for Team Penske here in the P3. Jonathan Coombs as well in the 77. He's in 4th. And then you look at the 5th, and it's actually Wade Palmer, the 5th, the Rainbow Warrior, as he gets to the bottom of the 47 machine. 47, Lonzo King down 9 laps right now.
Yeah, getting caught up in an earlier wreck there, the 47. You can see a little bit of damage there on the back bumper. Still trying to hold on to a decent finish here. Tim Wortman Jr. in the double op machine. He has got a clean race car pretty much all the way around there. He's had a pretty good night so far, running in the 6th position. Now we see the 3 and the 7. These guys cannot get away from each other. The 3, Kenny Capola, running 7th, but the 7 of Chris Spear, 3 laps down, so it might have been a tough pit stop, maybe speeding on pit road there for the number 7 machine, as looks like he just went down pit road 2 laps ago, and that's definitely a tough break. Looks like spent a little bit of time down there, 45 seconds on the stop, so that might have been a pit stop plus a 30-second penalty for speeding. We'll have to see if we can confirm that. But there's a 95, Ken Ellert, Matt Mackin, and Dave Douthwaite rounding out the top 10.
Possibly the reason for the burnouts.
Very well could have been yeah, that's right, 100%.
You probably got the speeding pedal and just said, you know what, I'm just going to have a bit of fun here tonight. But we've got 16 cars on the lead lap. If that caution comes out, we'll have 15 with the lucky dog going to Michael Miller. The Ed Boyles Jr., he is the story here tonight. But still a 3.5-second gap on Trevor Absher. Absher's been pretty quick here tonight. But we're taking a peek at the 11. Wayne Bowen in the 12th position. He's finding himself about 21 seconds behind our leader right now. But only has got nine laps on those tires, so a little bit fresher than the rest of the field. So it'll be interesting as we count them down. 40 to go as the leaders will be coming around for lap number 70. Ed Boyles Jr., your leader here tonight in Kansas.
More importantly than the tires is the fuel, having 3 or 4 more laps on fuel here. The number 11 of Wayne Bowen. He's pitted 10 laps ago. Everybody else 14, 15 laps ago. Having a little bit of extra in the tank there towards the end of the race. I'm not entirely sure what the fuel window is on these Cup cars here at this track, but always good to have just a little bit extra in the tank. You can see a little bit of crushed up rear right quarter panel from earlier incident, but doesn't seem like it's slowing them down too much. You can see the 18, the Interstate Batteries throwback machine. That's a good looking car there. That's Jimmy Absher in the 18 Joe Gibbs entry. Is currently running in the 13th, still on the lead lap, real close to getting lapped there. The 27 Xbox ride, the NASCAR Heat 5 iRacing car. You don't see that too often. Ian Yeager in the 27 and Joshua Battles back in the 43, the Armor All Orange Petty Machine. Pretty cool to see that paint scheme. And another good-looking paint scheme from Daytona, that 48 Ally machine, having that chrome foil look to it. Definitely one of my favorites from this past week, and that's Michael Miller in the 16th. That's rounding out everybody on the top 10. Back up front, though, that Ed Boyles still leading. That lead's been cut in half, though. That 19 car absolutely on train tracks around this track. 1.6 seconds the distance between second and first.
Absher on the gravy train here tonight, looking for some hot roast turkey sandwiches here as he, like you said, cut that down, and it continues to cut as he shaves off another 3/10. Now 1.7 seconds off the leader, Ed Boyles Jr. I got a funny feeling the last couple of laps, Absher's been picking up a 10th here and there, but the tires for Ed Boyles Jr. One lap in the difference between the two. But not working out right now as Absher's on a mission now, cutting it down to 1.5.
In the words of one of my favorite social media celebrities, celebrity duos, the Hodge twins, he cutting that lead. He's down to 1.2 seconds. Absolutely on rails, trying to get, and that's the thing of it. You can see it there on your screen. As we sift through the different cameras here, you can see that the 19 car can see that 88 car. He can get attached and focus on the back bumper of the 88. He wants to get up there. He wants to get around them. And there you can see it. We got some lap traffic, 3-4 cars ahead of the 88. We'll see if that plays a factor. But you could see the gap close on the front stretch. And now he's starting to pick up that draft. Holy moly, that 19 car is coming in a hurry.
We should almost get that guy, the Ozman, the Aussie guy from down south, to do an announcement with us tonight. He's a wild one on social media, so I can only imagine what would come out of his mouth throughout this commentary. But he'd be calling them all a bunch of bloody wankers.
Getting around the 20 car, no problem. You can see moving out of the way. The gentleman thing to do here as the lap cars go up high, but really closing the gap in the 19 car, getting to the back bumper of Ed Boyles Jr. He'll be able to get to him. He's got plenty of time. Lap 76 on the board. Less than 25 laps to go here at the Dodge City 150. He's going to be able to get to him. You can see he's trying to work different lines, try and feel the draft out just a little bit. Is he going to give him the bumper? Has he got enough to get around him clean? We got 24 laps to figure it out.
We're just looking at the lap times. 0.3 of a second Absher had on the last lap, so that's a huge amount of time. 0.3 of a second. So I think you're going to see a switch over here of the lead as Absher takes the top here. 88 Boyles probably knows that he's going to have to save it here. There's still plenty of time as long as Boyles can stay within reach and save something for the final couple of laps. As you see the 88 trying to make it work here on the bottom.
88 trying to save some tires there. Ed Boyle's doing a good job. Just gave him the wave with all 5 fingers out the window. Said, you know what, go on ahead. 19 definitely set up for the long run here, but if we get a caution, that's going to make things super interesting because the 88 is definitely hooked up on short runs. So it'll be good to see what the difference between a short run and a long run car can do. But the 19, Trevor Abshin, doing a great job taking over the lead here on lap 77, working lap number 78. Like I said, he's probably got 3 or 4 of those 5-hour energies. Just open them up, dump them right in the gas tank, and let her rip.
Well, I think I'm a new fan for Trevor Absher, as I'm a Truex fan. The 19 is on a mission here tonight with 21 to go here. This is, it should be interesting because that gap now between him and Ed Boyles is a half second. Now we're seeing a couple of our strong contenders here tonight. I believe that is Wade Palmer the 4th, and as well as Preston Puri, and that's Coppola and Wortman Jr. now on pit road. So more strategy here. So we're seeing this late caution or late green flag pit stop. If a caution comes out, then everything's just going to be a seesaw here. So Absher is going to try to stay out 23 laps on the tires. We've seen earlier some of these drivers have gotten 38 laps on their tires. So I believe, just looking at that 14, I don't know if they got enough to stay out. I think these guys got to come down one more time as we see more of them head down, as Dave Doothwaite and Ken Ilhart and Wade Bowen are now on pit road as well. So we're seeing a lot of these guys come down now as we count them down. Most of these cars 25 laps on their tires, so we're seeing it early here with 19 to go.
This is going to make things really interesting to see if the front runners are going to come down or if they're going to run the fuel tanks dry, because it seems like it's about there. You can see the 19, he's going to come down. The 77 is going to stay out. He's going to try and lead himself a lap, but the 88, he's already got some bonus points for leading, I believe, the most laps locked up. He's going to come down pit road. So it looks like these drivers were about 10 laps short on fuel, looking at the different fuel runs and styles. So what do you do at this point if you're the 77? You've got an 11-point lead or 11-second lead over the leader, and that's just going to keep growing because everybody else is down on pit road. So do you stay out, hope for maybe a late race caution? Nope, he's going to come down pit road, and the 22 almost gets into the back bumper of him, but going to come down. Oh, gets a little bit squirrely, hits the inside wall. Oh, man, that is a tough break. Knocks down the cone. Still green flag here, but that is a heartbreak for the 77, leading the race coming down pit road, getting a little bit too hard on the binders. That's going to hand the lead over to, I believe, the 48 car, depending on whether or not he stays out. If he stays out, he's going to lead this lap. If he comes down, may very well hand the lead back over to the 19. But really shaking things up here. Late race pit stops, green flag stops. There you see 48's going to stay out a couple more laps, at least one more. Lead that lap, get that bonus points, and see the 77 on pit road, long pit stop, getting the front end of that car, smash back out. Just a tough break for Jonathan Coombs, running up towards the top 10 most of the night. And you can see the 19 after pit stops, 2 tires, 9.7 seconds on the clock. He has come back out, joined the service. He's going to inherit the lead here after Michael Miller makes his pit stop, but hanging out front, kind of hoping for a caution. He's got probably 7, 8, maybe 9 laps that he can go before he runs out of fuel. And you can see a couple of lap cars that have already come down, the 9 and the 3 coming around, and that's the difference between the tires. So you stay out any longer, you're going to start losing time on the racetrack, but you got to hope for a caution. It's one of those gambles we see a lot of times in NASCAR.
Well, the 48 making a gamble here now. It does have a 10-second lead over Trevor Absher. Absher's going to be coming on hot right now. We've seen the 19 lead this around, but the 48, Michael Miller in the Alley Financial. 24 laps on the tires. We've seen 38, 39 laps on some of those earlier pit stops. So will he go the distance? Will he take the gamble? I don't know. I mean, 15 laps, maybe a half second. It's going to be pretty tight. you could probably make it up as we're seeing now. That gap has shrunk down to 8 1/3. So earlier on we seen the 10, but he's going to come down. Michael Miller, the 48, kind of dipped to the bottom there, but he's going to stay out. So he's kind of toying with what to do here. Probably talking to the spotter right now to decide if they're going to make the gamble.
He may very well be running out of fuel. We saw as he dipped down in the apron, he kind of wiggled that car back and forth to try and pick up a little bit of fuel. You can see he's kind of doing it here on the backstretch as well. Definitely,
Sloshing.
yeah, sloshing that fuel around, trying to get it to the fuel pickup. And you can see he's going to dip down on the apron and make it down to the entrance of pit road. So 48 car going to come down, probably just a splash and go here. 14 laps to go on the board here in the Dodge City 150. That's actually going to hand the lead over to Caleb Levener, as Caleb Levener is the new leader. 6 laps ago, came off of pit road. Ed Boyles Jr. running in second. And we have to go all the way back to third place here to find Trevor Abshner in that 19 car. So it looks like 4 tires might have been the move to make. The 12 and the 88, Levener and Boyles both took 4 tires, 14.8 second on the 12 car and a 14.4 on the 88. Looks like they just drove right on around the 19 car like he was standing still. So it's gonna be tough. We saw the 19 very, very quick earlier on today, but taking 2 tires might not have been the call of the race.
No, and we're seeing a bit of a battle now. The 88 coming on strong on the 12. The Penske car, Caleb Levener trying to hold off, but Ed Boyles Jr. has been dominant here tonight for the big Dodge City 150 or 100, and we're seeing now Ed Boyles Jr. Take command of this lead.
Still side by side, Levener in the 12 trying to hold on the outside line. Looks like he's going to try and just tuck in behind the 88 and see if he can draft on back. He's going to hold on to that top line. The 88's going to come up and complete the pass. A little bit of a, well, not quite a slide job. He didn't really cut up in front of him, but you can see the 12 Levener just running a little bit of a higher line, trying to see if he can maybe see where the 88's stronger, where he's weaker, where he's going to make a mistake. As you can see, the 5 car starting to come into the picture. Wade Palmer, the 4th, already 2 laps down, getting ready to go a 3rd lap down here. Really spread, spread out here with the lap traffic up ahead. Less than 10 laps to go once we get crossed on the line here. 88 of Boyles Jr. leading Caleb Levener, and just Trevor Abshner dropping like a rock, 4.4 seconds back after a 2-tire pit stop. So 4 tires, definitely the way to go late in the going here.
Yeah, strategy's been the whole storyline of this race. It's another Chicago, very limited caution lane, lots of green flag pit stops, but it's all Ed Boyles Jr. and Levener now coming around some traffic. May play a factor here, but if I was Levener, I'd try to get to that back bumper, but Ed Boyles Jr. just seems super hot here tonight. Has done a wonderful job, led a lot of laps here at the Dodge City 100, but he's kind of on a mission here now as he built up almost a half a second gap on Levener's and the Penske team.
8 laps to go for the 88 machine, holding on to the lead. Doesn't look like there's too much more lap traffic in front of him. Clean sailing, and that lead is up to 0.7 of a second, 3/4 of a second on the number 12 car, Caleb Levener, and you can see just holding that high line, trying to see if he can make up any kind of ground. Trevor Abshner still running in 3rd, about 4.2 seconds back from the leader. Tim Wortman Jr., we saw him come down pit road early. It looks like he is in the 4th position, and the 24 of Wade Palmer, the 5th, rounding out the top 5. So similar names up front, but it's still the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. hanging on to that lead. You can see he's coming up on the 22 car of Colin Zemer to put him another lap down. Colin Zemer, that's going to be 2 laps down for the number 22. And Ed Boyles Jr. gets around, and no fuss, no mutts, no coconuts. Coming out of turn 4, going to cross the stripe. 6 laps to go.
Come on. What's interesting tonight, though, Paul, we got a Hendricks out front, we got a Penske in 2nd place, we got Joe Gibbs in 3rd, so quite a bit of different manufacturers and also teams. The RCRs there in 4th, Tim Wortman Jr., and then we got another Hendricks car in 5th. So really spread out tonight. Not a lot of cautions, like I said. The storyline, green flag, pit stop strategy all the way here. And, Ed Boyles Jr. has been dominant throughout this whole campaign since lap number 1. I'm not a big fan of these, not having at least a couple of resets, but very similar to what we've seen in Chicago. And these guys have really done a wonderful job, but it would have been nice to see a bit of a reset here. Huge gap, about only 13 cars on the lead lap here now, as quite a few have had to go down a lap here as the 88 has checked out. But Levener now trying to get back, fighting back to the back quarter.
Looks like the 12 might have reached over to the number 19 and snagged one of those 5-hour energies to stuff in the fuel tank, because he just got a shot in the arm going around the outside the hard way, making it look easy. Caleb Levener to the point, gets around Ed Boyle Jr. on the outside, and it looks like he's starting to pull away. Both of those drivers came down about 15 laps ago. They got the same amount of wear on the tires. It actually looks like Ed Boyles Jr. came down a lap later, so a lap fresher rubber on that car, but it doesn't seem like that's going to matter too much. 4 laps to go as they cross the stripe. The lead belongs to the number 12 car of Caleb Levener, and we'll see who saved what for the last couple of laps here, because you can see Ed Boyles let him go, but it looks like he's closing right back in his back bumper.
Yeah, about 10 laps ago, Levener actually almost pretty much just let the 88 slide through. Probably saving a little bit here now. Boyles back on the hammer, kind of sizing things up here. Still plenty of time, but now you see the 88 dip to the bottom, crossing over, almost scrubbing the back of the 12. This is going to be a wild one for the final couple of laps here, as Boyles and Levener tee it up here and make it interesting here in Kansas.
Almost like both cars had a sandbag or two in the trunk, and it looks like they've thrown them out with 3 laps to go here. It's going to be gloves are off for 3 laps at Kansas Speedway here for the Dodge City 150. Crossing the stripe, it's still going to belong to the number 12 of Caleb Levener. That's going to be 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air, and man, oh man, business is about to pick up front. You can see the 88, the nose of that car scraping the bottom, nice and low to the car. Lots of downforce, and he's trying to get up to the back bumper of the number 12. Looks like it's about 0.2 of a second back. Is he going to be able to reel in the number 12? Is the 12 going to be able to hold him off? Can he get to him? Is he going to use the bumper? Well, we don't know. It's got about a lap and a half, maybe a lap to go. Is the white flag getting ready to come out? They cross the stripe. There you go. Barney waving the white flag at last lap. The next flag ends the race here, Mikey. Bring us home.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable night in the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. May have a little bit left in the can. Does he have the NOS or the TurboTech here? But it's probably not going to happen, as Levener is still commanding it as he comes down the backstretch into 3 and 4. It is Team Penske in the 12 of Caleb Levener heading home for big win here for the 12. Checkers with no records. Caleb Levener taking it home tonight for Team Penske. But what a job by the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. from Team Hendricks. Having a wonderful night, but just not enough, as I believe Levener kind of let him go about 12 laps ago, kind of saved something for the end here, and was able to hang on to the precious win here tonight in Kansas.
Yeah, great run from the 12. Fantastic win. The 88, Ed Boyles Jr. second. Trevor Abshner dropping back to third after that 2-tire stop late in the going. Tim Wortman Jr. fourth. Wade Palmer the fifth on the 24. Ends up with the top 5 in fifth. David Douthwaite in the number 23 DoorDash machine finishes sixth. Ken Ellert seventh. Patrick McClendon eighth. Mac Mack in there in the Hendrick Motorsports number 9 finishes in the 9th spot. And Wayne Bowen, that 11 car, rounds out the top 10.
12 there now burning it down. You know, that's a no-no at the real racetrack. Precious asphalt out there, but we've seen it quite often in real life, and you get the officials shouting at the car. But big win for the 12, taking it home, and we're gonna have a few words with him in just a moment as they celebrate down there. A little hoorah going on as they finish up here tonight.
Hooting and hollering and banging and clanging. There you can see Jimmy Abshner finishing 11th. One of the first drivers 1 lap down with the green flag pit stops throughout the race here. Michael Miller into the 48 finishes 12th. Eric Cook 13th. Joshua Battles 14th. Kenny Capola in the number 3 car finishes 15th. Jonathan Coombs, Colin Zemer, John Tuddy Ian Yeager and James Kerr rounding out 11th through 20th. There you see the rest of the field on your screen. Wade Palmer the fourth, tough break for him in the 5 car, finishes 21st. Chris Spear 22nd. Ryan Kling rather, Alonzo King, Tim Ingram, Joshua Noland, Charles Stevens, Preston Perea, and Sean Stamper rounding out the 29-car field. But all of them led to victory lane. All of them led to the stripe here. All of them led to the finish by the number 12 car of Caleb Levener. And it looks like we're down here in victory lane here with Caleb Levener, number 12, Penske Ford, excuse me, slap on the wrist for that one. Dodge is long gone from NASCAR, but man, great win, awesome pass there towards the end of the race. We're watching you burn it down here in slow motion, man. Talk to us about your race.
To start the race, I felt like my setup wasn't really there, especially with my qualifying spot, but I knew as the run went on, I kind of went up to that third line. I was getting very good runs, especially when the other cars' tires were wearing out, and I knew if I got to the end of the race and it kind of got stretched out, I felt like I had a chance. And Ed ran me down pretty good there at the end, and then I kind of started reeling him back in, and I knew I kind of had him there with four laps to go if it could have just stayed green. Thankfully, it did.
And we saw you kind of you were running in front of the 88, and the 88 was running in front of you. You had about a 5-second lead. Were you saving something for him to the end of the race, or did the 88 kind of fall off with tires? How did that work out?
He had an extremely fast car, especially early in the run, and I knew the best chance I had at getting around him was for it to stretch out, like I said, and I know me and Trevor was kind of running the same line, and I saw Trevor run him down in the race, running that third line. So kind of kept that in mind after them pit stops. I knew my best chance was running a different line than he was because he was just faster than me running his line.
And a great race. The car looks like it's all in one piece here, so pretty cool. We're just taking a look at the point standings. You're the points leader. You're the first guy without a win, but you lock yourself into the playoffs here with the win. So that's definitely a cool thing here. Who do you got on this car? Anybody watching, friends, family, anybody you'd like to thank? The floor is all yours.
I'd like to thank my dad. It's actually our company on the hood of the car. He sponsors me. And I'd like to thank all our league sponsors, Harpoon Designs, FATHEADZ. I know I'm probably Sim Button Boxes. I'm excited right now. But my grandpa, my wife, Mac, I didn't thank her last time. But just thank everybody for putting the league on. You guys for broadcasting it.
Absolutely. Caleb Levener, fantastic run. Great win for the number 12, locking himself into the playoffs with that win. 5 drivers, Tim Wortman Jr., Preston Peer, Stephen Wood, Ed Boyles Jr., and now Caleb Levener. Great run tonight.
Thank you, sir.
The Mike, you're going to talk to a driver who's already locked into the playoffs. A strong run from the 88, Ed Boyles Jr. Take it away.
Ed, you got a copy, bud?
Hey, Mike. Yes, I do have a copy.
Oh, brother, man, what a show you put on here tonight. It's unfortunate not to see you up here with the checkered flag, but you set yourself into the playoffs, and you've had a strong run right from the beginning. But take us through these green flag pit stops. Definitely a strategy, and take us through some of this pit run.
Well, my pit strategy there was some guys pitted early on that one caution about lap 8, I think it was, or so. So after they pitted, when it ran green, I figured as long as we made it to lap 25, as soon as they pitted, I was going to pit after them to try and force them onto our same strategy. And it really helped me to try and roll out to the front. And sorry, my crew chief is still talking to me.
Giving you shit. But you know what, Ed? It was awesome to see cautions, very similar to Chicago. These green flag pit stops definitely play a factor, and kind of a bit of a mind game, trying to gauge when you're going to have that caution. But great run from you. When you came in here tonight, you didn't have a lot of teammates to work with you here. You were kind of out there in no man's land by yourself. Take us through some of the strategies with your teammates.
Well, as far as strategy with teammates here, it's kind of hard to really work very well together. Try to, on the restarts, help each other out as much as possible. But Wade there at that one restart where I started in 6th, he was in 5th, and that being on the outside on a restart really helped. That inside line just couldn't get going. But yeah, we tried to pit together and keep on the same strategy in case we did have to draft, which definitely I think helped a little bit here and there. But
There was kind of some moments where you kind of look like a rocket ship out there. Do you think you used a little bit too much before the last couple of laps, or just didn't have enough for Levener at the final couple?
well, actually, my car was set for a short run. Um, this my setup. Notoriously, in the past, we've had a lot of short runs, which we're trying to get away from that, less cautions, and I can see just by this race now that definitely going to have to start working on longer run setups. When you have them designed for short runs and you set them up that way because you think that's really might all you get. Like there at the end, I was shocked when I looked up and Caleb caught me again with 4 laps to go. I said to my teammates, "Oh man, Caleb's gonna win." Like I was trying as hard as I could, but I couldn't hold him off.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, you were like a rocket man on those coming off pit road and really gaining a lot of momentum. But fabulous to call you guys. I'm calling from all the way up here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and great run again. This is my third race with you guys with the Fatheads, and take us home with some of the people that help support you. I noticed you got Fatheads eyewear on the recorder. Let us know who gives you all the love to make it happen.
Yeah, I want to thank our league sponsor, Fatheads, Chucky Stevens, for help bringing them into the league. He's been a big part of that. He actually asked me to drive the Fatheads car. So I think for the remainder of the season, I will have them on my car. If anyone is interested in go over there and head on for a pair of eyeglasses, we have a 40% off coupon with the keyword is Showtime. Give a nice little sponsor plug there. They have a lot of nice sunglasses and actually some other gear there. Also want to thank Butt Kicker is one of our sponsors. I actually do not have one. I would like to get one eventually. Simnut, and I actually want to thank Caleb. Caleb and Chris Spear, they actually both in the league worked on making this paint scheme for me. It came out fantastic. Everyone loves it. Thought it was a great addition to the league, actually, having it in there. It's incorporated well with our real life schemes we have going on. I want to most importantly thank my wife and my daughter for, not going too crazy while I'm sitting here on the sim for a couple hours every Wednesday night. And thank you to you guys for continuing to stay with us. The Dane TV has been fantastic, and everyone loves the broadcasts.
Well, that is awesome. I hope you had a great Valentine's with your family, and you're all safe down there. We look forward to see you back in action at Boyles, man. You had a great run here tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing maybe if we get some of those long run stretch, what you got for us on the next one. So with that, I bid you goodbye and good luck. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. You have a good day. Good night, actually.
Paul, what a run. I believe you got Trevor Absher in here, the 19 machine. What a run.
Yeah, and the cream always rises to the top. Ooh, yeah. Trevor Absher dominated towards the end of this race, and with that last pit stop, looks like the 2 tires kind of slowed you down just a little bit. Trevor, walk us through your race, bud.
Oh Lord, man, I had a great car throughout the whole race. I feel like I had the best car on the track, in my opinion. I mean, drove good, no matter short run, long run, drove good. I mean, short run took a couple laps to come in, but long run, man, it was so good compared to these other guys. And I took the lead there and got far out from Ed there, and I was like, man, maybe I was thinking in my head, I was like, I'm going to take 2 tires here and get ahead of even more, and it loosened the car up bad. So bad I couldn't even drive it. I felt like I was on ice. But,
yeah, we were making a joke here in the booth. You had such a huge run there before that final pit stop. It almost looked like you were taking the 5-hour energies and just stuffing them right into the fuel tank, man. That car was on rails.
Yeah, it was dang good on the long run, man, compared to all these other guys. I mean, I could do whatever I wanted, put it where I wanted, and I took a risk and it didn't work out. Like I was telling my teammates, I was like, I'm gonna take a risk here. If it don't work out, oh well. If it does, then great. But it didn't work out tonight.
Yeah, and we're just taking a look at the point standings on the screen right now. With Caleb Levener winning the race, that leaves you the top points driver without a win so far. So good points night so far here tonight. But do you really want to rely on points, or if you got something for us next week, try and get a win for the number 19?
No, I do not want to rely on points. I've been here talking to y'all 2 or 3 times, and I don't want to be here no more. Not winning the race, you know. Last week I had a good race at Daytona, stayed out of trouble, and on lap 90 of 94 I wrecked. So, but I got to finish. You know, that's my biggest problem right now is finishing the race in the top spot.
For sure, and still got looks like 5 races to go before the playoffs, so plenty of chances to get this 19 car in victory lane. We got 5-hour energy on the hood and on the quarter panels. Who else gets it done for the 19? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack every week?
I just want to thank my dad, my teammates. They help me out week in, week out. Like I've told y'all before, I don't run every night like a lot of these guys do. I normally just hop on here on Wednesday nights and run. But I also want to thank our league sponsors, especially FATHEADZ for sponsoring the league now. And go see them, get some glasses, and Simnut. And I'm sure I'm missing out on a whole bunch of other ones, but them are the only 2 I can really think of off the top of my head, to be completely honest with you.
Absolutely. We got a new website in the works, and we'll be able to share that on the Verdane TV Facebook page here later on in the week once it gets polished up. But, man, Trevor, great run here tonight in the 19. Almost got you a win, but we'll see what we can do next week.
Thank you. Y'all put on a great show. We really appreciate it.
Always love hearing that, man. Appreciate it. Great run tonight.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it. Top 3 here for the big show here, the Dodge City 150 at Kansas Speedway. Man, it's great to see these guys pick up a sponsor. You can see the coupon code there on your screen. Go to fatheads.com. That's fatheads with a Z. Use that promo code Showtime at checkout. Get you 40% off of anything on the website. And, man, they got some cool stuff on there.
Man, I'm already on it right now. I got your credit card from the last time you gave it to me. I just bought a whole pile of stuff. Tony Stewart gear, some new glasses for my fat head. But folks, seriously though, you got to check it out. FATHEADZ eyewear. You don't have to have a fat head. They got some cool stuff, but check them out. And we look forward to getting back here again. But what a wild night here in Kansas, Paul. Send us home. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, you can see the schedule on your screen now. Double dipping the NEPS League, the Grand National Series brought to you by Chef Marketing and Design. Going to be tomorrow night at 8:15. The Super Truck Series from the NEPS, they're going to be running their championship race at Atlanta. The trucks in Atlanta always put on a good show. They're going to be crowning a champion Friday night. We're going to be crowning a champion Saturday night, the Fatal 4-Way Championship race for the Sim 500 Verdane Racing Super Speedway Series at iRacing Super Speedway. Going to be finding out who's going to be getting that Pro-Am Belts Championship belt, as well as the free Dare Stock Street Stock rental at Stafford Motor Speedway on June 11th, the night before the SRX Series debuts at Stafford Motor Speedway. So that is going to be one heck of a weekend at the racetrack at Stafford Motor Speedway. And then Sunday night, Sim Racing Unleashed, Sunday, 8 o'clock. They're making their Verdane TV debut, and really excited to have those guys on board. And we pretty much don't have any breaks. Monday night gets Tim's Corner Motorsports live. We can actually check out the driver announcements, or the guest announcements, as it were, over on the Tim's Corner Motorsports Facebook page, as well as timscorner.ca. And we've got the Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series Monday night, Tuesday, the RBR iRacing Championship. So we got 3 championship races coming up in the next 7 days here on Verdane TV. Lots of action coming up, and we are booked solid through the month of May, at least 4 to 5 races weekly throughout the month of May and June, and have a couple of spots open. Might be an Eastbound Esports race in there in the next couple of weeks as well. Gotta pencil that in and get that detailed maybe once all these ice and snowstorms get through. But I know there's a lot of viewers down in the south area, down around Texas and the southern parts of the state, getting ice and snow for very, very rare to get a snowstorm down there. Hope everybody's safe, and we hope everybody, hope this broadcast made it to you in good health and all that good stuff. But we're gonna wrap things up. We're gonna put the cables back in the truck and head on out to the NEPS race for tomorrow night. So next time you catch us, we'll catch you on the flip side, and it's gonna be us doing it live here at Verdane TV. Have a great night.
Grab yourself a bush.